We should be live, gentlemen. Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. And we got a special guest in the building. Our boy, Marlo from the Real Marlo TV. What's going on, man? What's up?
What's good, Brody? We already know we in the building. We about to
in
cook.
the building, bruh.
Yeah,
man. So man, I kind of want to start with kind of the, how we all connected, man. So Marlo came up with the eye collector. That's what his saying was. Jason and I, in a vacuum, actually came up with the eye collector ourselves, but it was after Marlo. And we did a video about it, and somebody came in our comment section and said, yo, y'all stole that from Marlo. And I said, man, who is Marlo? And so I searched you out, found your channel, and man, started looking at your content, and it was like, man, I was hooked, bruh. And so I subscribed to the channel. I shared it with Jason. Jason subscribed to the channel. And man, we've been following you ever since. We comment on your stuff. You subscribe to our channel. You comment on our stuff. And so we are a community in boxing, as we've said in the past multiple times. We don't hate on nobody else's channel. We keep it real, and we're willing to partner with people who are willing to partner with us. So that's how we ended up connecting, guys. You can catch me on his channel. You can catch Jason on his channel. You can catch us on, you can catch him on our channel. And at the end of the day, man, please, if you have the opportunity, please subscribe to Marlo's channel.
And how I found them, somebody came and told me, because they was telling me each and every person that was using it, right? So I heard about it, so I came to their channel, checked out the content. I went through their shit. I said, damn, they shit fly. They got the whole hookup, everything. So I was listening to different videos. So I automatically felt like, nah, they ain't one of them. They still upcoming. They ain't trying to be on no biting type of shit. They got their own shit going on. They got their own topics. So I automatically came to show love immediately, because I'm like, damn, somebody told me about it. I went to go find, like, damn, that's what's up there. I'm all for everybody that's coming up, because I ain't no hater. And I felt like they wasn't on no bullshit. So that's what brought me to them. I gravitated to them. I subscribed to their channel and like every one of their videos. And I know they're going to pass up a lot of people that's up and coming, because a lot of people grow up, they start forgetting shit, and then up and coming channels be grinding so hard. I already know they're going to pass up a lot of people.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. So, man, here's the time, man. We're going to jump right into it, man. We're going to jump right off the porch, man. So there's been a couple of topics that has happened in the, I would say, the last couple of days. So number one, Adrien Broner recently signed to BLK Prime. So Marlo, you got the opportunity to see the video that we did. We went through some of the backgrounds of some of the people that were listed as the ELT, so the executive leadership team of Black Media or BLK Prime. And some of these cats, man, they don't have no background in production, streaming, production companies, entertainment, nothing like that. We did that video, and we wanted to make sure that the people on our channel understood that, because there's a disconnect with understanding who BLK Prime is. And as far as we concerned, they don't necessarily appear to be a legit entity. So I'm going to pause right there, bro, and give you the opportunity to give your thoughts about how you feel about BLK Prime and what you've seen out of Adrien Broner, the fact that he's just signed with BLK Prime.
Okay, I found out a few things about him, because these people came out of nowhere. First, I'm going to say this. Marty Brown, the manager, if everybody know him, he always do interviews on the Adrien Terence Crawford situation. He a real manager within the boxing game, and he know a lot of shit. So he told me the fight ain't even going to be able to happen, because they don't have that's what he said. He said the fight ain't going to be able to happen. They ain't got enough money for him. But I'm going to let it still play out, go with the flow for now, because either way it goes, this still a duck on Terence Crawford part, but we're going to get to that. But when it comes to Adrien Broner, I feel like shit. Now that things playing out like it did, I feel like Adrien Broner ducked Figueroa just the same way Bud ducked Earl Spence. Because how the fuck you went from fighting mental depression, pulled out that man fight. You pulled out the fight. He already knew you was on bullshit, but everybody gave you a pass because of your character. You always flashed up. So you pulled out the fight. All of a sudden, you came out the blue, sticking your nose in Earl Spence and Terence Crawford negotiations. You the only fucking boxer that came out and said, "Oh man, Showtime ain't got no money. We finna be fighting on Twitter." So they use you as a pawn to push the message to cover for Bud even coming over there because y'all niggas had this shit conspired and your ass ran over there. And now all of a sudden you got an 8-figure deal too for 12 months, 3 fights, but there's no fucking fighters to fight. So I don't know what the fuck. I'm just looking at it like shit. Hey, this nigga said he got to, okay, fuck BLK. We don't know who BLK is. I mean, shit. We don't know shit about him. I feel like the whole move was put together. This shit like a conspiracy or some shit. Adrien Broner came out covering for Bud. If I'm Earl Spence, I'll put out the sparring session. I'll knock his ass out. And sparring him. Just for fucking playing. But Broner on some bullshit. Now he made a post today talking about, I support everybody. Ain't not one fighter come out and support me making this move. Hey, that sob ass bitch ass shit, nigga. Do your thing, bro. Who the fuck finna support you leaving where they at? They don't know shit about what you doing. Exactly. You want some bullshit. So it is what it is, Broner ass. When you don't get your fucking money, we don't want to hear your ass crying because these people ain't got enough and your ass gonna be mad. And don't run your ass back over here to Showtime because niggas don't give a fuck anyway because you passed your prime.
You know he gonna run somewhere.
Yeah, he gonna run back over with another sob story. Oh, they didn't pay me. Fuck them. Going on having another little break.
So my perspective on Broner, man, is that, the whole shit really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, bruh. So when you think about it, you got BLK Prime that just recently signed Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner hasn't fought 3 times because they signed him to a 3-fight deal over 12 months. He hasn't fought 3 times since 2015, as Jason alluded to in our previous video. So you're taking a huge risk on a very mercurial fighter that every time you turn around, this nigga got an issue. So how is it that all of a sudden BLK Prime is coming out of the blue? They just got, it seemed like they got money just dropping out of their ass right now, man. Yeah, they got money coming from left, they got money coming from right. To pay these fighters, not only, Terence Crawford and Adrien Broner, these guaranteed amounts, but you're talking about the undercard, you're talking about the fees associated with actually broadcasting, you're talking about other fees relative to the Nevada State Athletic Commission or wherever it is that they're fighting. So it's actually in Omaha for Terence Crawford. So all these things that are occurring, these other fees that you got, how is it that you actually going to be able to pay these dudes and make a profit? It doesn't make any sense. And then today I saw a video from Bob Arum talking about on FightHype.com saying that he know that David Avanesian has already been paid for the fight. So I'm like, okay, he's already been paid for the fight. I don't know how much money it is. Maybe it's $1 million, maybe it's $2 million, maybe it's $500,000. I don't know. But he's already been paid. Supposedly Terence Crawford has already got a huge percentage of it. Even if this is real and they can actually turn this fight, what's going to happen 2, 3, 5 years down the line when you can't pay these fighters this amount because nobody give a fuck about seeing Adrien Broner. And Terence Crawford, he can't fill no damn stadiums other than whatever the damn Forum or, the recreation center in Omaha. So
he ain't fill that up.
Exactly. So you overpaying fighters, man. What you really doing is fucking up the sport, bro. Period.
Yeah, and truth be told, Broner may have lost his last 3 out of 4 fights. I mean, that last boy Santiago was putting them things on him.
Yeah.
So I mean, AB, nah.
Unless they making Adrien Broner versus Terence Crawford, I'm not sure.
Yep.
Not anything gonna work over there, but we'll see though. I'm willing to watch him crash and burn.
Oh yeah.
On there.
I mean,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
who Adrien Broner gonna fight for 3 fights in 1 year though?
I don't know, man. He might fight somebody from some low-level fighter from the UFC, man. Ain't no telling, man, because everything that I've seen from BLK so far. Man, let's talk about that, bruh. So I did the video, man. You saw all these cats. None of these cats looked like they were actually had any background in production. Then they do Blueblood does this press release that's literally a fucking dining room table and a background that looks like a tablecloth with their logo on it. And I'm like, man, this doesn't look like a fucking entity that can pay 2 fighters at least $20 million and cover all the fees associated with the fight, which include the undercards, any kind of promoters, all that shit. It don't make no fucking sense.
None.
Right. Definitely don't. It seems like they only got one reporter so far also, so I wonder who else gonna be the reporter for that.
Hey,
Probably Bud twin brother. I mean,
Marlo, I
AB
said,
twin brother.
I said these cats probably gonna end up covering the fight with niggas gonna be around the ring with camcorders, man, literally recording the fight, man, and uploading it and streaming it to the web, bruh.
That is gonna be the most bootleg shit we ever seen. That shit crazy.
I definitely think it's gonna be bootleg. It gotta be bootleg because I just maybe they are gonna get their money. And man, let me say this. I don't begrudge any fighter for getting their money. We ain't getting punched in the head, bruh. I ain't begrudging nobody. Get your paper. My issue with what Terence Crawford did was, bruh, you could have got your paper and you could have also signed a contract to fight Errol Spence. You could have done both. But instead, man, I feel like because you didn't do that, you open the doors for people to be able to say, man, you really ducking this man, bruh. You ducking this man because you could have just signed that contract. You could have went to Al Heyman and said, hey, man, listen, I want to fight before the end of the year. And because I want to fight before the end of the year, I'm going to go ahead and sign this little deal right here that's going to pay me $10 million, line my pocket, fight David Avanesian and beat his ass, and then I'll see y'all in Q1 of 2023. But instead, he didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Nah, you said his name wrong, Greg. It's David Amnesia, one of the two.
Well, we can call him that. I mean, technically his name's supposed to be David Avanesian, but we can call him David Anesthesia, David, whatever we want to call him. Because when I saw his name, bruh, I know him from fighting Shane Mosley, and Shane Mosley ain't fought in about damn near a decade, bruh.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Crazy thing is, Green Beans knocked him out.
Yeah, he did.
So how the fuck you go backwards and fight somebody who your last opponent, who we all gave you flat for? The whole boxing world was wondering why you fought Green Beans, Green Machine, whatever the fuck, and then turn around to fight another Russian named Anesthesia. That shit crazy. It's just bad decision after bad decision from Terence Crawford. And then the whole thing with BLK, they just came in wrong. How you think you gonna get some respect from the people when you just had a hand and pulled in a fighter from one of the biggest fights in boxing? You think motherfuckers finna just run and support it? We don't know who the fuck y'all are. So it's like you came in wrong the same way Dazin came in wrong. You gotta come in correct. Like, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, and Dazin had better backing. You know, they had Eddie Hearn on them on that. At least they had that, and they still hurting.
Yeah.
Doing dumb moves.
That's a great point, Jason. Like, when they got into the business of broadcasting boxing, they had Eddie Hearn, someone who is well seasoned in the sport of boxing, understands the nuances relative to the business of boxing. So they had someone to help guide them and navigate them through the negotiations associated with boxing. You got BLK Prime, which I had never heard of prior to this, who has a bunch of individuals in that organization at least 2 to 3 years ago that literally were, recruiters, killer realty, real estate agents, now principals. These guys can't run a business. I keep trying to tell people. They kept talking about Terence Crawford lawyer, and Terence Crawford, he got a lawyer, and so he's good. He's going to protect him. A fucking lawyer or an accountant or any kind of other support staff. They do not understand all the nuances of a particular business. You need individuals that have been homegrown and have that experience in that particular business, bruh. And if you don't, that's the reason why Errol Spence was saying that Terence Crawford didn't trust his lawyer. He didn't trust his lawyer because his lawyer probably didn't understand everything to a T, and then he didn't understand shit. He was so used to having Bob Arum do all the work for him, and that's why Bob Arum said the fight would have been made if he had a promoter, because the promoter actually understands the shit that's going on. Terence Crawford doesn't. He think he's smarter than he is, and he's not, and that's the issue.
I think he's worth more than what he is too.
Don Porter said he's the most stubborn boxer in the world.
Yep, I saw that.
That's what Sean Porter just said. That shit crazy, bro. They fucked up the bag, because the crazy thing is, you took, even if that was 8 figures, what you think you were gonna make with the Errol Spence fight? You had a guarantee, okay, but what about the back end? The fight was gonna be so big, you were gonna make so much money. So we know it wasn't about the money; it's about you keeping your fucking eyeballs. You ain't want to get your. That's what it was, right?
You know it.
That's all it was about.
Especially how much he been getting hit lately in his last few fights, man. Spence gonna fuck him up.
No defense.
Yeah. I think Spence was gonna get him. And we did the film study. If you guys haven't had the opportunity, go check it out. But we did the film study and kind of broke down the film on Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And a lot of people want to use certain attributes that Terence Crawford has had in the past. People like Roy Jones Jr., people like Antonio Tarver. And shout out to Antonio Tarver. I got to give him love because he's from my home city, Orlando, Florida. But at the end of the day, Antonio Tarver is more like Errol Spence. So in his breakdown or his analysis, I would have thought he would have leaned more towards Errol Spence than Terence Crawford. So that didn't make any sense. But, man, the only thing, man, that I'm really concerned about in the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight is Terence Crawford's ability to counterpunch. In the film study, we talked about the fact that he leaves himself open when he counters to the body. He doesn't have the same level of mobility he had in the past. And just like my boy Gary Russell Jr. said, man, he gonna stalk his ass like Jason and drop them dumbbells on his ass. And that's exactly right, bruh. And when he said that shit, bruh, the first thing that popped in my mind, man, was them damn Jason movies, man, Friday the 13th, where this nigga just be walking niggas down and niggas be running off and shit, and all he doing is walking, and before you know it, he up on their ass and he done fucked them up. That's Errol Spence to a fucking T, bruh. He will walk your ass down, and before you know it, you fucked up.
Let Bud hit Errol Spence and it don't phase him.
Oh, man.
It's over for his ass.
He don't want to do that. My bad, Marlo.
Yeah, but he done ran now, so we'll see how this shit turn out. I'm on their fucking neck so bad. I'm trying to make them cancel that motherfucker. I'm trying to make them cancel. I want BLK Prime to be like, damn, but I don't know if we can put this fight on because you just getting too much flack for this. That's how bad I'm on their ass. I'm trying to make them cancel this motherfucker so he can go back and get his eyeball snatched.
Who was that that you were talking about earlier, Marlo, that was selling out saying Spence got to go the hard route now, some shit like that?
Oh yeah, Bernie bitch ass came out talking about some he out here celebrating the fact that Terence Crawford is ducking Errol Spence now. It was just crazy. He said, man, he came out here like a straight bitch. He came out here saying that Terence Crawford is going over here with BLK. They know how to treat a champion. That's how he came and said. I'm like, damn, that ain't bitch ass shit. Like he said they know how to treat a champion. We're gonna make double. So you remember they were saying that he took 0% guarantee, right? So now all of a sudden they give you double. So you wasn't taking 0%. So he just spilled the beans in the way running his fat ass mouth. So, and then he said, Errol Spence gonna have to go the hard route. Like he bragging on the point that Errol Spence got to fight like tough mandatories while he fight fucking anesthesia. Like what type of pound for pound #1 shit is that?
That lets you know right there. They celebrating Errol Spence having a harder road to get the undisputed. So I mean that's some bullshit right there. You don't celebrate. Oh, you gotta fight. Either Ennis or Stanionis or Thurman. I'm just gonna fight this cab driver over here.
It's like, what type of soft ass shit is that, bro? How is that something to brag on?
He hoping
Hey,
Spence get hurt.
let's talk about a couple of things here, guys. So, number one, somebody put it in the chat comment talking about that Mayweather is funding BLK Prime. So, number one, if you think about what Adrien Broner said as a part of that media release, exclusive, whatever you want to call it, he actually was taking shots at Mayweather. So he said he was quoting Suge Knight, which was dumb, talking about it's like Tupac. It's like when Suge Knight came and got Tupac. Nigga, do you remember what actually happened to Death Row? What the fuck are you talking about? I would not compare that to fucking Death Row. But anyway, so Mayweather, what he did was he was talking about you got, if you don't want somebody all up in the videos dancing and blah 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 blah, what he was doing is trying to send a subliminal message to Tank Davis saying, hey, this is what Mayweather's doing. So if you don't want that, come to BLK Prime. So Mayweather is definitely not backing this shit whatsoever. So I want to pause there. Marlo, I want you to give your opportunity. I want to give you the opportunity to speak on that. And then Jason, I want you to speak on that as well.
Crazy thing about that, I don't believe Mayweather got nothing to do with it, because during that little press conference, Adrien Broner was flaunting the fact that him and the manager and shit was so tight. You know, it sounded like some spiteful shit out of Floyd and Al Heyman relationship. So I'm looking at it, I'm listening, I'm like, nigga, you don't even know that man. But y'all, me and about billions, we gonna take over, along with whatever the owner of BLK name is. That's what he kept saying. But I don't think Floyd got nothing to do with that, because why would he pull Terence Crawford out of the Earl Spence fight for that if he will make more money with Earl Spence and Terence? He's a money guy. He would make more money with Earl Spence and Terence Crawford than he would with fucking Grant anesthesia. That shit gonna flop. You ain't gonna make nothing. He ain't in the business of losing money. Giving him 8 figures for what? He ain't gonna make shit. That ain't Floyd. Ain't got nothing to do with that.
Mm-mm. And if Flo was gonna do anything, Flo would done something like you said, make more money. He's gonna more than likely go with someone that's from another country that has a whole country backing him. You know, he's not gonna do something with Bud like that. Nah. It don't make no sense with him fighting backing that like that.
Yeah, don't. If we seen a Mexican, that motherfucker, then maybe then. But he fight anesthesia. Nobody knows anesthesia. He's not going to make any return off of that. Floyd ain't into losing 8 figures for no reason and shit. He trying to make money, not lose money.
Exactly.
So let me ask you guys this. So Terence Crawford, let's say Errol Spence moves out of 147 pounds, because honestly, I don't think Errol gonna stick around to fight anybody else. It doesn't make any sense, man. He doesn't get any benefit out of fighting Stanionis. He doesn't really get any benefit out of fighting Boots, right? So if Errol Spence moves up to 154 pounds and Terence Crawford is left at 147 and he claims the undisputed title because he beats, I don't know, somebody that's not Errol Spence, you guys believe that it's legitimate? And shout out to T for posing this question earlier. I wanted to put that out there. Do you guys think it's a legitimate, undisputed welterweight championship if he didn't beat Errol Spence? I think I know the answer to that, but I wanna hear you guys. So I'm gonna start with Jason. What you think about that?
Fuck no. To beat a man, you got to beat the man. Point blank, period.
Ric Flair.
Woo!
I agree with Jason on it. But don't fight Earl Spence. Your ass might as well retire, because your ass ain't gonna be able to run back to PBC and fight nobody else anyway. Because it's like, you done fucked up the biggest guy they got, so why the fuck we finna feed you somebody else for? You done fucked up the relationship, burning bridges and shit, pulling out the contract out of nowhere. Stephen Espinosa said you blindsided them. You came out of nowhere, you negotiating with other people while y'all in negotiation. You burning the bridge and shit. So if you don't fight Earl Spence, you might as well retire, because ain't nobody else finna fuck with you. Who else you gonna fight that's gonna generate any type of noise? You might as well take your ass back to top rank, where your ass belong. Because the moves you making is just like some Bob Arum shit anyway. So,
And even Bob won't even fuck with you, so that's real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, my perspective on that is it's not a legitimate, undisputed welterweight championship because at the end of the day, everybody's going to understand that Errol Spence was the man at 147 pounds, regardless of who was the pound for pound champion. Errol Spence was that dude at 147 pounds. He collected all of the belts other than the WBO belt. And I'm going to pull from Marlo on this one. He collected all the eyes or orbital bones at 147 pounds. So at the end of the day, man, he was the man at that weight. And because Terence Crawford, for whatever reason, whether you believe that they're legitimate or not, he did not fight that man. And so whatever he claims at 147 pounds, if Errol Spence decides to move to 154 pounds, it's not legitimate. It's not legitimate in my eyes. That's how I see it.
No. I mean, it'd be cool on the record books for him. That'd be cool for him to be 3-time undisputed champ at 3 different weight classes. But we all know at welterweight, he went through the path of least resistance. If that were to happen with him, if he done fight Spence to get that.
So let me put this out here, man. Ashton H says, what y'all got to say about Terence Crawford not saying anything yet? That is peculiar, bruh. He hasn't said shit about this fight yet. He hasn't promoted it. I'm going to start off by saying this. It seems like everything that's currently going on is legitimate because Blueblood Sports TV has put it out and Terence Crawford hasn't disputed it. So if you think about that fact and the fact that Terence Crawford has not said anything about this fight, nigga hasn't even lifted a finger to talk about this fight, it tells me that Terence Crawford is all about the money. He doesn't give a fuck about promoting it. All he wants is $10 million. And then he leaves everybody else holding the fucking bag when the shit flops because he doesn't sell. So from that perspective, Terence Crawford, he's a fucking ass if that's what he's doing because he's not a business partner. He doesn't work with Arum. He wasn't going to work with Terence Crawford. Errol Spence. He wasn't going to work with Al Hammond in the PBC. He's a dick that's not willing to actually work with his business partners to make the biggest and best fights in boxing. All he's concerned about is lacing his pockets. That's my thoughts on it. Marlo, what you think about that?
I think he embarrassed. He wanted to see, test the temperature, what everybody felt about it. Now that everybody on his ass, he might have, I'm telling you, I'm pulling for him to put out this motherfucking bout. That's what I'm on. I'm trying to build his ass a hard where they don't even want to put up the money no more. Now I think this shit, Manager Marty might be right here. This shit might not even happen. But then the fact still remains is you still duck because you tried. You still tried. You tried to do it, but you seen the flack the fans gave because that's what it's about. Is the fans. If the fans reject something, your ass ain't gonna be able to do it. Because you're gonna be in that motherfucker fighting and they're gonna sell 2 pay-per-views and then you're gonna be trying to sue them. You know what I'm saying? Like you did Bob Arum, you're gonna be trying to sue them because you said they were giving you a guarantee and shit. Man, they're gonna be like, damn, we can't even get him there because we ain't gonna make nothing. But I'll say this, Desmond came in, they wasted a lot of money too, just because they thought they were gonna get him in the door or whatever. But you know, everybody in for a rude awakening with you fucking around trying to invest on Bud. Because you ain't going to make shit off this because the fans don't want it.
You ain't going to make
top
shit.
that off. His biggest cheerleader, Keyshawn Davis, he fighting on Top Rank on the same day as Bud fighting. Right. On December 10th. So how is that going to make sense? His biggest cheerleader fighting the same day.
I would say shit. Yeah, I know they both got Bomac, but Bomac's so much of a trash ass trainer, so it's like shit. Hey, one of them niggas can go without him. One of them can go without his ass for real, because Bud probably fuck around here. He ain't need him for anesthesia. Shit, he come in that motherfucker. All you gotta do is just shit, punch his ass a couple times, and the fight gonna be over with. And then he might be over there fucking around with Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah,
bro, that shit crazy.
Nah, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy how, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. All this shit really is like devolving into some old WWE type shit, bruh. Like I ain't never seen no shit like this, bruh. When you think about Adrien Broner, he's sitting up here talking about cats gonna end up fighting on Twitter and talking about the resources and the money associated with Showtime. We already know Showtime is a part of a bigger entity, so there's no real concern about money. They're just not willing to pay Terence Crawford money, right? So then you have this transition of Terence Crawford going to BLK Prime, and then all of a sudden Adrien Broner, the guy that was the spokesman, going out on Twitter and whatever else, talking about, oh, this, that, and the third. Now he's also a BLK Prime. All of it, man, looks like some old WWE shit that I'm trying to figure out why the hell is even going on. Like these boys, man, it's I ain't never seen nothing like this in boxing, bro. Never.
Yeah. There's some new shit right here. It's like they signed Broner because they need someone that's gonna be a mouthpiece. But his talent sells one thing, but his mouth don't sell shit. He's not marketable in that sense. So they need someone like Broner to talk a lot of shit. But you can't trust Broner. You can't trust AB on this shit here for real, for real.
I agree with that.
I stopped trusting Adrien Broner when he said, what he say? What this motherfucker say? This motherfucker said, I beat that boy.
Against Pat.
I had to stop trusting his ass around. Probably before that, for real.
Yeah.
He did so much bullshit. They think they using him as a mascot, basically. So shit. Let's see if that shit work out. I think it's gonna fail miserably. But shit, we'll see. And then you got motherfuckers out here trying to cover for BLK. Oh man, it's a black platform, motherfucker. Our platform is a black platform. Fuck is you talking about? We don't know shit about them people, man. Just because they got Adrien Broner and Terence Crawford, we don't care about that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. So I saw somebody in the comments section honestly saying that that it wasn't necessarily black. So I say black owned. Let me just say that part right there. I don't know if it's black owned or not.
I heard that
could be black owned, could not be black owned. I don't know.
Right. I heard it.
And frankly, I don't care if it's black owned or not. It really doesn't matter because at the end of the day, even if it is black owned, bruh, I mean, listen, and I said this on our last podcast, man. I support anything that's black owned. I really do. But at the end of the day, man, a lot of times the stuff that we do is not on point. And the reason why it's not on point is because we don't have the resources to actually make it on point. And so when you start thinking about what BLK Prime is doing, they're trying to punch out of their weight class. And trying to punch out of your weight class when you don't have the resources to actually do so, I mean, you can really put yourself in a precarious situation, man. So I'm concerned that they're going to do something that's not only going to affect boxing in general, but it's also going to affect the, African Americans' opportunity to get into the sport of boxing or any other sport. Because you're going to, cats going to be looking at it and say, man, look at what they're doing. Look at, we gave them a chance to look at what they did. So when people come on our channel and talk about why you care about Terence Crawford and the money he's making, I don't necessarily care about the money Terence Crawford making. I more so care about the effect that it has on the sport and the effect that it has on the perception of black folks. So hate me or love me, that's how I see it.
Yeah. PBC is a fucking black platform. Shit, owned by Al Heyman.
Yep.
People love to use the black card when they want to use it. I mean, it's about the product. If the product together, the material there, I'm about the shit. But right now, they got a motherfucker who ducked out the biggest fight in boxing, and they got another motherfucker who lost hella fucking fights in a row. I mean, goddamn. They ain't got shit we want right now. We just supposed to jump on the train for what? Shit.
I mean, exactly. We 6 weeks out until December 10th. The fight then we haven't heard like official. Like y'all said, Bud's been quiet. So I'm like, I mean, Buddy David and Amnesia, whatever his name is, he was supposed to fight in November. So he's been training, but it just doesn't make sense to me. If they do well, they do well. I mean, I'm gonna watch the fight, of course, if it happens. But we'll see.
They signed a duck. That's all I know. I'm just going off by the facts of what we know so far. They signed a motherfucker, duck, and ran to their ass for some paper. So I mean, how the fuck is we supposed to support that? There's nothing worth supporting over there at the moment. Hey, let's see if you had Earl Spence and Terence Crawford around that motherfucker, and you finna put on the biggest fight in boxing, then all right, I'm gonna pay motherfucker my money. But shit, who the fuck is Bud fighting? Anesthesia. We don't care about that, man. Shit. Fuck that damn BLK shit. That shit cool. No, I heard, but I don't see nothing. I ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
Shit. PBC been putting on great fights back to back. Shit, all except for the motherfuckers that be ducking. Shit. Other than that, they seem like the best platform at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their problems and issues. I ain't saying they perfect. I'm more for the fighters than the platforms. All I need is BLK got Duck Crawford and fucking Adrien Broner. I mean, goddamn. What?
And I mean, the goal of a business is to make money, right? So if they're paying over about $20 million for AB for 3 fights and Bud for 1 fight, who the hell AB is gonna fight in those 3 fights to make sure they get a return on investment?
Not only that, who is they gonna get AB to fight that we want to fucking watch? Them 3 fights can be any fucking body. So it's like shit. If it ain't nobody we want to see, then what's the point of getting hyped about it?
Exactly.
You saying 3-fight deal? You sound, but who are the fighters that you signing him for? That's what we need to know before anybody get hyped about anything. Other than that, it's just like hearsay. This shit can be a whole.
Yeah. Now, if they sign someone like Tank that's gonna put cheeks in seats, that's one thing.
Right.
And we know Tank's gonna have good fights. AB, on the other hand, that shit ain't gonna happen. His last good fight that he got paid and had a good showing was for what, Pacquiao? And that was more so Pacquiao than him.
Facts. I'm still here.
Yeah, man. So, excuse me. Sorry, I got a little cough there. So, have you guys had the opportunity to see the video from Bob Arum earlier? He had a video earlier today where he was talking about David Avanesian. He was saying that David Avanesian has already been paid. I'm just curious to hear what you guys got to say about that. And then also, he mentioned that it's really nobody's fault. He believes that the issue technically is because Terence Crawford really doesn't have a promoter, which I can, to some degree, agree with that because I don't think he understands the business of boxing. I'm going to start with you, Jason. What you think about that?
What was the question again? I was reading the comment in my bag.
No, I was just saying, what do you think about what Bob Arum said earlier today, where he was basically saying he doesn't blame anybody necessarily, but really the issue is that the fact that Terence Crawford doesn't actually have a promoter.
I mean, it could be looked at a couple of ways. Some people that really hate Bob Arum are going to say he's just hating. You know, I'm not a Bob Arum fan at all, but what he says makes sense because, like you said earlier, Bud doesn't know the nuances of the business deal aspect. He's a hell of a fighter. But as far as the business, we know he's not good at that. Otherwise, why would he have signed for Top Rank again when he had a chance to get up out of there? So
Agree.
I agree with what Bob said. It's kind of funny because Bob was like, he didn't know who David Avanesian is. But he also contradicted himself because he said he knew about this deal, that Bud was working on this deal beforehand, before it came out, because he's friend with Frank Warren. So
it kind of sounds like to me a little bit that Bob Arum is kind of campaigning for Bud to come back to him. Shit.
Yep.
It sounds like he wanted to be a part. He said Bud, it would have been easier if he was involved because Bud don't have a promoter. So it sounds like he plugging himself back in for Bud. And I say Bud ain't really doing no good business. He might as well shit take his ass back to Bob. He ain't like he getting in no tough competition without him. You doing nothing different from what he was putting your ass in.
I agree. Totally. So let me ask you this, Jason. Do you believe that this fight is actually going to occur? Bob Arum mentioned that David Avanesian had already been paid, and so because of that, he believed that the fight is actually going to happen. I mean, that does make sense what he's saying, that he believes that the fight's going to happen because of that. Based off what you've seen so far, do you believe this fight going to happen, man? Based off of just, the research that we did, the fact that all of a sudden this entity is coming out of the blue. What are your thoughts around that?
I mean, as of right now, I'm gonna have to probably wait till the end of first week of November to see if it's really going to happen or not. Because I don't think it's going to happen as of right now. I don't see it happening.
I hear you.
I just don't see it happening.
Yep. Marlo, what you think about that? You think it's going to happen?
I'm starting to think it's not going to happen, but at the same time, it's like the attempt to try to make it happen in the first place is still just damaging enough. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think it. I'm starting to think it ain't gonna happen because it's like shit. Motherfuckers didn't put their net worth out there, show they don't even have 8 figures. They ain't even worth 8 figures. So I'm not sure because it's just seems like their company ain't big enough. They ain't did no promotion. It's like, or y'all trying to build y'all name off the fact of Bud coming to y'all, and just off the fact that he even came in the first place, or that you had any dealers. Are they trying to build themselves off of this Earl Spence Terence Crawford situation? Like, I'm not sure like what they agenda is, but it just don't seem like they too big of a platform to either make any type of noise. And the only noise that I see them getting is from this whole Earl Spence Terence Crawford fallout. So maybe that's a part of the plan. I'm not sure yet, but I'm starting thinking it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. How would y'all feel about the fight with Bud not fighting Spence, if he was fighting someone else like a Boots or a Thurman? How would y'all feel about everything about that?
So for me, my perspective is it'll be an interesting fight, right? I mean, Boots Ennis, everything that I've seen from bruh, I mean, he the truth. So he got every tool that's necessary to be very successful in the sport of boxing. What Boots Ennis lacks is experience and the opportunity to really showcase those skills against somebody who also has a level of skills that's going to test him. So I think personally it's too soon to put Boots into ring with Errol Spence or Terence Crawford just because of the level of experience. And I know a lot of people always talk about, skills, and it doesn't matter, experience. Bruh, when skills are relatively close, experience is the thing that separates the men from the boys, period. So I would be hella interested in seeing the fight. It would be very entertaining. I would like to see it. But I think it's too soon for Boots. I don't want to see it from his perspective because, simply put, I'm a fan of what I've seen from Boots Ennis. And I just think it's too soon at this point, man. And it's interesting that you mentioned that because Boots actually did ask the question, why didn't Terence Crawford reach out to him? So all this stuff that they were talking about, that Boots is with a specific entity like Al Heyman. Guys, let me go ahead and explain the business of boxing again to you. Al Heyman is a manager. So unless Boots has a contract signed with Showtime, he can go and fight on BLK Prime, period. So I don't know why he didn't call him out. Apparently, Boots doesn't have a contract signed by Showtime if he's making that statement. So that's my thoughts on that. But I'm going to pass it to you, Marlo. What you think about that?
Losing.
Pittsburgh was intriguing. I have to agree because can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I'm just making sure because I'm finna make a run. I'm still hurt though. But yeah, I think it'll be very intriguing though. But I don't think I haven't seen Jerron Ennis in a tough enough fight for me to accurately pinpoint, you know what I'm saying, to give a super good description off the fight because I haven't really seen him in like a good enough fight for. But I think it would be very intriguing. who I think, it got the possibility of being a great fight, but I'm not sure because I gotta see Boots. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta see Boots and some shit. But I say he is big, motherfucker. He do look. Can't. He's that shit. But I fuck with Boots.
Yeah, we fuck with him too.
Yeah. Now the reason I asked that question because I wonder, the way Buddy was talking, Terence Crawford, Buddy boy was talking about how how Spence has a lot of road to fight. It made me think about like, how would I feel if Bud said, okay, I'm not fighting Spence, I'm gonna sign this deal to fight Boots or Stanionis or someone else. I would still feel slighted by him not fighting Spence, but I feel better because I'm like, okay, it's not just like a bullshit fight to me. When Spence has to go a harder road if they were to fight after the next fights after this one,
And then another thing, if Terence Crawford would have picked Jerron Boots Ennis instead of fucking anesthesia, it would have looked it better. Cause now you got a case for saying, oh man, I was able to get Boots, but I wasn't able to get Spence, so it don't look like you actually ducked. But the fact that you went to fight a motherfucker named anesthesia, it just looked horrible. So it ain't shit you can say about this, bro. Your ass ducked that man.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, I know Bud hasn't fought since he fought Porter last December or November, whenever it was in 2021. But he still had a time to get a fight before fighting Spence. We talked about this last time how he could have gotten a deal where he get a tune-up fight and then he fight Spence. Instead of waiting.
That man had the whole 2022 to fight a tune-up and chose December. In the middle of the fucking negotiations where Earl Spence. Like, bro, how the fuck do that? Where you had the whole 2022 to make a fucking fight and fight anesthesia then. But you chose December, middle of a contract being sent that you hasn't responded to. Now you want to fight, man? Get the fuck out of here. You duck that man.
Exactly. Even Spence mentioned that. Spence even said he's like, I could have fought in November. So it's like, if you wanted a tune-up, you could have fought right after he fought Ugas. He could have had a tune-up fight, May, June, July, August, September. Up until this fight that should have been happening next month.
Seemed like that man trying to weight drain Earl Spence. He want him to be the best out of condition. He seen that man mustache and he went back into hiding. He knew that man was working too hard. He said, nah, man, it ain't time. Yeah, he told Bomac and them, but we gotta stretch this shit out a little longer. That's why Earl Spence say that nigga been dragging his feet for months. He wanted to get the one up on Earl Spence, so he felt like, all right, I'll fight in December. Earl Spence ain't gonna fight in December. He think I'm still in negotiations with him. Then he pulled the fuck this bullshit move because he wanted to get the one ups on him. He ain't want no smoke.
Yeah. No, that's real shit there, Mario. So let me ask you guys about
Spence ain't scared of Thurman, LT.
Yeah, we've seen that out there, the Errol Spence versus Thurman fight. Personally, I don't have any interest in Errol Spence fighting Thurman. So I'm gonna ask you two, what do you feel is best for Errol Spence? Do you think it's best for him to move up to 154 pounds, or would you like to see him either face off against Boots or Thurman? What are your thoughts around that?
I mean, for me, if he can't get it where it's automatic, they're actually negotiating, they're signing a deal for him to fight Bud the very next fight, he needs to go ahead and move up to 154. Just go ahead and move up to 154. Now as far as who I want to see, either Thurman or Boots, it's intriguing for me to see Boots, just because Boots, is the upcoming boogeyman. Thurman, I think Thurman has 1 foot out, 1 foot in. After all the injuries, all the time off, he doesn't even really seem like he's more like going like the Sean Porter route, more into broadcasting, more about trying to get one more bag. So I wouldn't be interested in that Keith Thurman Spence fight. What about you, Marlo?
I think Keith Thurman just want to check, and Earl Spence don't want to give it to him. But I think if Earl Spence move up to 154 and just want to punch a nigga down real quick, I think Keith Thurman is the perfect first motherfucker to get his ass knocked out with a body shot if he wanted to bring his ass up to 154. Cause he ain't Keith Thurman a big motherfucker. He out of shape any fucking way. I think he should bring his ass to 154 because he ain't got shit to offer anyway. Shit, fuck Keith Thurman for real. Spence don't want to give him no shot, but I can't lie. It's something deep down inside of me. I would still like to see his ass get punched in the gut though. But not at 147. Not at 147. I think shit, he missed his shot. If he wants some smoke, bring your ass to 154. Show him how bad you want it. I think Earl Spence could go on here because once Earl Spence going to 154, ain't no more holding up his career no more because niggas is gonna dive in the ring to get some smoke with him because they want that check and 147 pounder. Ain't nobody at 154 getting no bag like that unless Earl Spence bless you. So I think they'll dive in there with Earl Spence because they feel like they got an advantage because they was already at 154. So Earl Spence will have their ass lined up. He can pull 2 or 3 fights off a year. And I think if he just wanted to just test the waters for his first fight at 154, even though we know he ain't no tune-up ass motherfucker, but just to, have a little something, he can pull Keith Thurman up. Keith Thurman still gonna be running his mouth, still want that check. I think he'll punch his ass in the gut and fuck him up at 154. But other than that, definitely not at 147 because you ain't got no pull for or shit to offer that man for him to stay at 147.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't think Errol Spence will stay at 147 pounds if he's not fighting Terence Crawford. I think at the end of the day, I think Errol probably has been weight draining himself over the last few years, and more than likely he should move up to 154 pounds. I think what you would end up seeing from Errol Spence if he moved up to 154 pounds, I think you'll see more power from him. I think you're going to see more of that stalking mentality. I think he'll actually be more effective at 154 pounds because I think right now he's draining himself down to 147 pounds. But who I would like to see him move up to, and I really want to see him move up to 154 pounds, and I think his first opponent should be Tony Harrison. I think that's the perfect fight for him, right? It brings an opponent to the ring that's very skilled, but doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of pop. He can come in there, man, get him up out of there real quick. And then the next opponent, in my estimation, would be Brian Castano. And then if he gets past Brian Castano, which I believe he will, then if Mel hadn't gotten his ass up out of that division at that point, then Derrick James got a decision to make, brother.
Yeah, he owes Castano anyway.
Thanks, but I think Sebastian Fundora should probably be first because he undefeated. He got some little momentum, and he just did Erickson Lubin bad earlier in the year, and I think they've been building him versus Earl Spence. I think PBC kind of want that fight with Sebastian and Earl. And he already spoke on Earl Spence already, and he got this thin frame. I think Earl Spence will break his ass like a twig. I think they styles clash because this motherfucker love throwing punches, and I think that'll be nice right there.
I think so too. I think they might try to keep Fundora away from Spence, just cause as big as Fundora is as far as height wise and rangy, he don't use it. He likes to fight inside, and that's gonna go to Spence's advantage. Spence gonna break his ass down and fold him up.
I think they can't keep him away from Earl Spence because Earl Spence, the money man, when he come up there, he blessing guys. So it's like if you gonna jump in this motherfucker to get that paycheck or not. And Sebastian Fundora already spoke on Earl Spence and said he would come down to 147. That's what he said. So, but he won't need to because Earl Spence coming up to that motherfucker.
Yeah, so let me ask you both this. So we put out the video last night of Errol Spence, the leaked audio. It sounded like he was talking to Steven Espinoza. But Errol mentioned that, number one, Terence Crawford didn't trust his lawyer, so he was asking all kind of questions, wanted to speak directly with Al, which I don't believe was an issue. But I also think it led to him requesting things that you wouldn't normally request as a part of a negotiation of this level. So, well, let me say this first as well. So Errol Spence also talked about the fact that the only fight for him was at 147 pounds. At 147 pounds was actually Terence Crawford, right? So he didn't want to do anything else outside of that. Don't want to fight Keith Thurman. He wants to face Terence Crawford. So what do you guys think about the fact that Terence Crawford didn't trust his lawyer? I already put a video out about it, and I think it's really the fact that at the end of the day, Terence Crawford don't understand the business, bro. He does not understand the business. It doesn't matter what lawyer you have in place. Your lawyer, your accountant, they don't understand the underlying business. They understand the aspect of the business that relates to their specific discipline. And so you need somebody that's actually in the industry that understands the mechanics of it and how it works to actually negotiate deals. So that's my perspective on it. I'm going to start with you, Marlo. What you think about that, man? You think Terence Crawford really understands the business of boxing? And was that playing a part in the fact that the fight didn't get made? And then what you think about what Errol Spence said about that's the only fight really for him at 147 pounds? What are your thoughts?
When I heard that, it sounded like Earl Spence. That lets everybody know how bad he wanted to fight. He even suggested January because he knew November was off the table. The only reason they got dragged on because Bud was dragging on a fight and they run out of venues. That's what Steven Espinoza said. Now, I think Terence Crawford as like a kid that just got off the fucking training wheels and his ass don't know what the fuck he doing, and he got a weak ass team and he don't trust his lawyers because he been spoiled all this motherfucking time. He been spoiled. So now it's time to get out on your own, just like a motherfucker who been under their parents' wing all the time. Then soon they get on their own, they gotta fuck up on their own. So that's what Bud going through right now. His ass don't know what the fuck he doing. He got whack ass Bomac as his manager. He don't know what the fuck he doing. He was relying on them guarantees for so long. So now it's time to jump in that water, handle your own business. He don't know how to run his own shit because he been babysitting, getting babysitted the whole fucking time till he turned 35. So it's like shit. He don't know what he doing. And it's like dragging it on. Hey, we gotta school this motherfucker, this shit like this. So he trying to break him down and let him know shit. And then Al Hammond said he been questioning him more than he questioned Bob Earl.
Right, exactly.
He said this motherfucker, I bet he thinking Terence Crawford, he feel like he in the fucking investigation room with the feds, the way Terence Crawford asking questions. So it's like shit. That shit probably annoying the fuck out of him and them because they telling him and then he probably still don't understand. On top of him being scared and want to keep it orbital. So I'm sure it's just probably, it's a headache for them guys, man. It sounds like Earl Spence really wants to fight. Nobody can bring me the audio of Terence Crawford saying that Earl Spence is the only fight out there for me. That's because he don't want it as bad. Anytime he mention this fight, he always say, I don't need him. I'm a Hall of Famer. 3-divisional world champ. All this different bullshit. When you hear Earl Spence speak on a fight, he sound like he want this shit. He sound like he going to the moon and back just to get it done. You know what I'm saying? So, and Earl Spence also spoke on the fact of the fans cooking him for the shit that motherfuckers was running around saying he need to leave Al Heyman and all that shit. So he acknowledging the fact, like, I'm trying to get this shit done, man. Fans on my ass. I'm trying to get them on my ass. So Bud don't give a fuck about the fans. He'd rather go fight anesthesia.
Jay, what's your thoughts on that, man? What's your thoughts on that leaked video?
Man, just in a nutshell, overall, this fight here is hurting both their legacies, regardless of who's wrong. I think Spence really wanted this fight more than anything else. I think Bud wanted to fight. I just think Bud got in his own way. For one, not having a promoter, and two, really wanting more money than what it shows that he's worth as far as cheeks and seats. Not his skills, but what he actually puts in the seats and what his marketability. So it's just bad all around right now.
Yeah, Bud Crawford.
I agree with that because that's what Earl Spence is acknowledging. He like shit. He don't want to be out here looking bad. Like people looking at him like he don't want to fight. He want to fight. So he trying. He know it's kind of hurting him because he like, man, I'm trying to get this shit done.
Errol wants that fight, man. Errol wants that fight because he knows that fight legitimizes him as one of the best to ever do it at 147 pounds. So there's no doubt in my mind that Errol wants that fight. I've always said that I thought both of these guys wanted that fight. But when I've seen the actions of Terence Crawford over the last few weeks, not signing a contract. I mean, Jason, you and I have talked about this. We've seen in the past, and Marlo, I know you've seen this in the past on multiple occasions where fighters have already agreed to fight each other. Sometimes they'll actually fight on the same card against a different opponent just as a marketing ploy in order to get people interested in the fight. And so with these two individuals, the fact that, Terence Crawford was unwilling to go ahead and sign a contract after demanding something specifically, and that was actually included in the contract, and he still didn't sign it, man, you got to start questioning whether or not he has a true desire to actually make this fight. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it feels like, I mean, really, man, he just selling himself to the highest bidder, man. How old is Terence Crawford right now? 35 years old?
35. He's 35.
Yeah, so Terence Crawford is 35 years old right now. He's probably in the twilight of his career. He may only have 2 years left. He's trying to get the biggest paycheck that he possibly can. And again, I've said this in the past. I don't begrudge a fighter for actually wanting to make the most money that he can. But, dude, you keep sitting up here talking about you got a legacy fight. You want a legacy fight. You don't give a damn about the percentage split. The percentage split doesn't matter, right? Because he already knows. He's confident in his skills. He'll take whatever percentage split. But then to come back later after he signed with BLK and then say this bullshit 65-35 split, I still agree to it. Why are you complaining about it? You were the man that said that 65-35 split was okay with you because you got the confidence. You know you're going to whoop that ass and come back in a rematch and you'll have the greater split. So at the end of the day, man, it doesn't sound like bruh really believes all the shit that he said.
The Father Time was kicking his ass after a while. He's like, he woke up one morning like, oh shit, I'm 35.
Maybe. That might be what it is. And it's not like Spence is super young, bruh. Spence 32, about to be 33 real soon. So, I mean, still, they really in the same age range. This shit is really creeping in the area of Pacquiao versus Mayweather, man. And at the end of the day, who wants to wait that long to see that fight, man? I don't want to see that. I don't want to wait. The fight wasn't what it lived up to be. This fight, just because of the styles, I think it'll always be better than what we saw from Mayweather versus Pacquiao. But at the end of the day, they need to fight now, bro. And honestly, I think this fight is done, bro. I don't think these dudes are fighting anymore. I really don't think these dudes are fighting, bro. I don't.
Yeah.
Why would Errol Spence want to go back through this path again with somebody who wasn't really didn't have a whole lot of, he wasn't negotiating in good faith. So why would I do that again? And then Terence Crawford, if the $10 million is real, in his mind, he's like, why am I fighting again if I can't get $10 million? I've already laced my pockets. I think I'm a Hall of Famer, so I might as well just go ahead and walk away from the sport at this point. There's nothing else for me to prove in my mind. Let me go and go play with my kids before my orbitals get taken. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I see this fight. It's only the fight can only happen at 147, I think, because at 154 it's not gonna make sense. It's not gonna. It's just gonna be a grudge match at 154. And honestly, I don't know how Crawford carries the weight at 154. I think this is heavy. I think 147 is really, really tough for him to really fight in because of a lot of people are bigger than him. He has longer arms, of course. He usually has a reach, but everyone's usually bigger than him. 154 is going to be a whole nother beast. Spence normally will be naturally in that weight class, I think, than Crawford would be. Plus age at 35, I think Crawford has a lot of battling going on if he moves up to 154 because of his age, and he's going to be the naturally smaller fighter. Not necessarily he's less skilled than those guys at 154, but he's going to be the naturally smaller guy.
So let's talk about the split percentage here real quick, man, because that's going on currently in the comment section. And we've talked about this in the past, Jay Marlo. I don't know if you've ever talked about this on your channel, but when you start thinking about the pay-per-view buys, you got Errol Spence that probably over his career has done close to 1 million pay-per-view buys. You got Terence Crawford that probably over his career has done something similar to, I don't know, let's call it 350 total for his career. So that really equates to something close to an 80-20 split. So why would Errol Spence ever agree to anything other than that, right? Because at the end of the day, the economics support an 80-20 split. But we all know that a fight is not going to get made at an 80-20 split. So theoretically, or in reality, Errol Spence was actually subsidizing Terence Crawford at 65-35, yet people still got an issue with that. Being pound for pound doesn't matter in the sport of boxing. Being the best at something doesn't matter in any entertainment field. I'm going to use Arnold Schwarzenegger as an example. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a shitty actor, but in the 1980s, he was the biggest box office star in Hollywood. Why? Because he put cheeks in seats. So being a great actor or being a great fighter don't mean you get paid. So, Jay, I'm going to throw that shit to you, man. What you think about that?
No, I mean, no, you're right. You're definitely right on that. I mean, it doesn't mean you get paid just because you're good this or that. I mean, so I'm just frustrated overall, man.
Yeah, I feel you. Marlo, I'm going to pass it to you, man. What you think about that?
I think they blessed his ass with the 35%. Because if this was a pie cut in 4 slices, a belt each slice, his ass have 25%. Now they gave his ass an extra 10. And it is, if that's true, and it is what it is. Because Bernie came out earlier and said that he took double with BLK. So if that's true or whatever, that means. Let's say BLK gave him 10. That means PBC offered him 5. I mean, you don't think you're gonna make another 5 million plus off the back end of the pay-per-view? So I'm like, damn, But I think it's one more shot for this fight to happen, and that's if Bud ass pull out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? If he pull out the fight, he gonna get a lot of flack regardless, no matter how this shit go. Especially for me, I'm definitely gonna give it to him. But it's one more shot. It's gonna happen. I say by February, March, it's time for Errol Spence to move up.
Yeah, and even it, I mean, that's a long time. I really think that after Spence took Ugas' eyes, he got back into training. So I think that's why Errol Spence is more frustrated than anything like that, because it's hard for him to make the weight, and he's been training for a long time, to prepare for this fight, and then this happened.
Yeah, and I seen him today earlier, training footage of him in the gym, him and Frank Martin. He look like he never got out of shape the whole time. So he just so ready to put the pain on Crawford. So it's like shit. I feel like he got to get this out the way. You know what I'm saying? He got to get this out the way. So I think it's one more shot. I think it's one more shot. I say by February, March, the fight ain't signed, sealed, and delivered. By what? Soon, then Earl should move up. You know what I'm saying? He tried his best. Can't make the weight no more. This motherfucker ducked him, then it is what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, this fight here in December gets canceled for whatever reason. That's going to tell a lot about Crawford more than anything else.
Fact.
So let me ask you both this. So apparently, Keyshawn Davis is fighting on the same day as Terence Crawford. We all know Keyshawn Davis to be the biggest cheerleader of Terence Bud Crawford. And I don't know who else is fighting on that card, but it seemed like Top Rank. Somebody asked me this in the comment section of the post that we did. And so I wanna pose this to the group. What are your thoughts around the fact that Top Rank is going to have a fight card on the same day as the Terence Crawford fight? What does that say about Terence Crawford, or at least a perception from Top Rank about Terence Crawford?
They don't fear him. They don't fear him taking viewership from their match.
Fact.
Yeah. That's the same way I see it, bro. Like,
yeah, they don't really give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. And plus, they probably want to make a point anyways. They fuck around, Keyshawn fuck around, do more numbers than Bud ass on pay-per-view. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Like, when Canelo was an up-and-coming fighter, he is of Mexican descent. Floyd Mayweather fought on all the Mexican holidays, and he knew to steer his ass clear of Floyd Mayweather, even fighting on Mexican holidays, and he's actually a Mexican coming up and actually a pretty big star in Mexico. When you're fighting when you're a fighter, you don't fight on the same day as one of the more established pay-per-view stars. So the fact that Bob Arum really doesn't give a shit and he's not moving his fight card, he's willing to compete against Terence Crawford. Bob Arum know what the economics of boxing are, specifically as it relates to Terence Crawford. And so he understands that he don't have anything to fucking fear, period. They probably going to wash, but and at $39.99 again for a guy that's done 150,000 pay-per-view buys, I don't know whoever this angel investor is or whoever this entity is that's backing BLK Prime, they must be looking at a way to try to write off or have a write-off to reduce their profits for whatever year it is, because they need to get some kind of tax benefit. It would make sense that there's some foreign entity that's doing it and that has some kind of establishment in the United States so they can get the tax credit in their home country for the write-off. But I don't know. We'll see.
And I mean, the fact that Top Rank's using Bud's main cheerleader. The shade, man. The shade.
So let me ask you guys this, and I've put this out here, right? It's my personal opinion that after the negotiations with Al Heyman fell apart, and Bob Arum mentioned that it wasn't Al Heyman's fault. He didn't blame Al Heyman, Errol Spence, or Terence Crawford for that matter. He said Terence Crawford doesn't have a promoter, and that's the issue. Terence Crawford has proved to be difficult to deal with from a top rank perspective. Now he's proven to be difficult to deal with from a PBC perspective. Eddie Hearn said he didn't really want anything to do with him. So those are your three major outfits currently. The only other one is Golden Boy Promotions, which I don't know, maybe Oscar might take a risk on him.
I doubt it.
But do you guys think at some point Terence Crawford is going to get blackballed in the sport of boxing just simply because he's shown himself to be a diva and somebody who's not realistic as it relates to the business of boxing?
Definitely. He won't be blackballed as much as AB because he's not a problem child like that, because at least he has the skills. You know, AB don't got the skills. So, I mean, he's still going to get blackballed just because it's a headache right now at this point in time. You know, at first, you know, we blame Bob for the fight not happening. Okay, but you're not with Bob. You're by yourself. You're solo. The fight still didn't happen. There's only one common denominator in those two scenarios. It's Bud Crawford.
I agree, because it's like, shit, you just, all the good fighters over there with PBC, you just duck the biggest fighter they got. So it's like, shit, why the fuck should we go back in business with you and give you anything else? Shit, I mean, it ain't like you do no fucking numbers and you ain't gonna get what your ass wanted anyways. You keep talking about what you want and you ain't worth it. So why should they be trying to do you any type of favors, man? If Bud don't understand the fucking business, his ass gonna be blackballed. He blackballed his damn self. It ain't like nobody doing no wrong to him. He came in this motherfucker making all the wrong decisions and shit. So that's I put all the blame on him, because instead of putting on somebody else saying they blackballing him, he blackballed his fucking self. He put himself in the box. When he was over there at Top Rank, he said everybody was ducking him. He put himself in the box because you re-signed the deal instead of going over there with them where all the motherfuckers was at. So you can steady putting yourself in the box on this little fucking island that's small than a bitch with no water around that motherfucker. So your ass gonna die of thirstiness.
Yeah, he got himself in a box for sure, man. Bro, everything he's done over the last 5 years, man, doesn't make any sense. And we talked about this. I don't know what video it was, Jay, but we liked Terence Crawford, man. We've always liked Terence Crawford. We didn't have any problem with Terence Crawford. We immediately got sour on Terence Crawford when he actually re-signed with Bob Arum, because we said to ourselves, well, damn, all the best fighters are at the PBC. Why are you signing back to Bob Arum? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then a few years later, now you're talking about suing Bob Arum. And for those of you who are going to come on here and say, well, he's not suing Bob Arum anymore, I really don't give a shit. The point is that he was suing Bob Arum, saying that Bob Arum wasn't making the fights. Then why the fuck did you re-sign with him, dummy? It doesn't make any sense. And it's like Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers, man. You could have seen that shit wasn't going to work, man, right from the beginning. We all saw that it wasn't going to work for him in terms of his career and fighting the best fighters when he signed back to Bob Arum. He should have either became a free agent or went to the PBC. He chose not to do that. So, again, you got to question whether or not he really wanted to make the big fights. I believe Terence Crawford really wants to line his fucking pockets. That's what he's really about. He's about lining his pockets. Has nothing to do with his legacy. It's not about him being confident in this and that, and he'll take a lower percentage because he knows he's going to win and so forth and so on. It don't have shit to do with any of that shit. That nigga's in the game right now to line his pockets. End of story.
At 35, I mean, can't blame him too much now, because getting up there.
I don't blame him for trying to make as much money as he can, but bruh, that shouldn't be all what you're trying to do, bruh. Go ahead and solidify your position in the sport of boxing by going ahead and fighting really the dude that you're gonna make the most money with, period.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, we got sour on Bud once he re-signed with Top Rank, because the minute I saw his contract was up and he was contemplating going elsewhere, I was happy as hell, because then I knew Bud was going to actually get the fights, the big fights. As long as he was with Top Rank, he got bullshit. Wasn't getting paid much. Despite that, he wasn't selling out. But his skills, he wasn't being put in the platform to succeed neither, while not getting paid. His skills alone should put him up there. But he re-signed with Top Rank. He sealed his own death note on that sense.
I agree, man. So let's do this, man. We've been on for 1 hour and 16 minutes now. So I want to turn it to the group chat for the last 10, 15 minutes, man, and see what the questions are in the group chat. Myself, Marlo, Jason, we will answer those questions, and then we'll wrap it up for the night.
Yeah, people didn't like your comment about Russell Westbrook, man. You didn't have to go there.
Man, fuck Russ. I don't give man, fuck Russ. I didn't see anybody say anything about that, but if you guys gonna hate my channel, because fuck Russ.
Nah, no one's one that said, wait a minute, not Russell Westbrook, I'm dead.
Yeah, Russ, that we've had that debate about Russ for a long time, man. I can't stand fucking Russ.
So I don't see any question, but let's see if we missed anything.
Aslan Smith, you're right. They need to trade every goddamn body. I noticed that, man, the chat sometimes, I guess if somebody curses something, it hides the, I got to figure out a way to stop that. It hides their comments. I didn't realize it was doing that it was hiding people's comments. You can say whatever you want to say on the Angry Man podcast. That's the whole point of it. We angry as fuck. Come on here and be angry with us. So, Marlo, let me ask you this, man. I don't know when you're going live again. Would love for Jason and myself to join you on your platform to talk about some of this stuff as well. Whenever you're available, man, we are game to come by and jump on a live stream and do it because, again, we enjoy your content. Similarly, you enjoy our content. And I think from that aspect, we basically inspire each other, man. So definitely want to keep the lines of communication open and continue to, if we can, do live streams together.
Facts, we definitely can do that. I'm going to try to do it exactly how y'all doing through Skype. Because I see everybody always doing it through StreamYard, and I always went live. I haven't brought nobody on yet, but I definitely can do it for sure. People always tell me to bring people on, but I ain't never did it, but I'll do it though for sure.
Yeah, we hadn't either until now.
yeah, we had never done it until. I'm gonna tell you something, Marlo. Man, honestly, we jumped into the game, man, and we started doing this shit, and we just started learning as we went. So I was telling Jason the other day, I said, so I built this computer. I built a computer a few years ago. And bruh, I like doing odd little tasks and jobs and shit like that. And I built this computer and it's super strong. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to use this computer for one day, but at some point I'll eventually use it. And now I'm using it for streaming and podcasting and stuff like that. And so yeah, I mean, we at whatever point you need assistance from us to kind of try to figure out how to do it. I'm game, man, because it's all a process of actually just kind of going through it and learning it and figuring out how to do it. And that's what we did. We just kept digging into it and figuring it out and learning how to do it, man. So whenever you need something from us, just let us know.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit y'all up for some game because I got this $2,000 PC and I'm just learning as I go. And I got this streaming PC. I'm learning everything as I go, but this is just something I haven't done. So I'm definitely gonna be getting some game from y'all for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I did see someone say on here, who is next opponent for Boots?
That's a great question, man.
I heard Stanley Yosa. That's what I heard.
That's who I hope.
I would like to see that. I think Too Young Gun. I think so. People, this is not going to be popular, man, but I think Stan Yosa's style could give Boots some problems. I don't think he's going to be somebody that's just going to end up rolling over. So if Boots gets Stan Jonas out of there, bro, that's a big accomplishment as far as I'm concerned relative to Boots. And to me, he goes into that next level. He gets Stan Jonas out of there, man. I would look at him through a different lens and how he would compete against Terence Crawford or Errol Spence if he were to beat Stan Jonas.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look at him like a monster. He stop him. Like that's all I want to see from Boots. I wanted to see Boots versus Josito Lopez. I want to see Boots versus like motherfuckers. I wanted him to keep piling up on names so I can gauge them right. So I just won't be doing injustice by saying, "Oh man, he'll beat this person, that person." I gotta see him go up the ladder gradually. Because when we watch Earl Spence come up, we seen him run through this guy and then go to Kell Brook, then go to Lamont Peterson. He just kept going up the ladder. Philip Greco, and then he kept just going up over and over. That's what I want to see from Boots. I want to see him steady get these opponents with some names, so we can be able to really break this shit down and what he can be like. Cause I'm looking at him, and he looked great. He looked like the shit. But it's like I still just want to see just so I can you know what I'm saying, had the whole package together. Like, not only do I feel like this way, but I also seen him do this too.
Mm-hmm. Now, I agree. I co-sign what y'all said all together. Dan Jonas is a tough fighter. He didn't. I mean, he got touched up quite a bit his last fight. So I think Boots. I got Boots in that fight. I don't know about KO, but I definitely got Boots in that fight. But it's still gonna be a hell of a matchup.
Yeah.
T. Ward said Boots versus Ben. Ben got to get past his failing drug test ass first.
Didn't Ben recently admit that he was actually on the sauce?
I don't know what he admitted to. I know he, that fight with him and old boy Eubanks got canceled because he tested positive.
So I'm about to make some more folks mad, but there's a lot of athletes that are on the sauce, not just in boxing, but in other sports, specifically athletes that have been playing for 20 years and have the ability to get to pass records that we thought would never be broken. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that out there. Some people ain't gonna like that, but that's what it is.
Man, oh man. So someone said Tank or Ryan. I got tanked by a brutal knockout over Ryan Garcia when they fight in January.
So I was of the same mindset before I saw Tank fight Rolly. I thought Tank struggled a little bit with Rolly's range and power.
He carried that fight, man.
That's what you say. I don't see it similarly. I think he struggled a little bit with the range and the power. I think Ryan Garcia has some range and power. He doesn't have the same level of strength and power that Rolly has, but he does have that range. So I think it's going to be a much more competitive fight than what people thought it was originally. But I still favor Tank to come out victoriously, and I think eventually he's going to catch him on the chin and get him up out of there. But I don't think it's a foregone conclusion like Jason does. Marlo, what you think about that?
I wouldn't say Gervonta Davis struggled with Rolly. I think Gervonta Davis' IQ is slept on, and I think what he did was he knew not to trade with this man on no rock'em sock'em shit because he was still fresh with a whole lot of fucking power. We ain't gonna act like he couldn't punch, so he didn't want to take a shot and then find out on the fucking front, on the canvas that he hit hard. So he wanted to, he felt him hitting his gloves. He's like, okay, he hit hard. So he wanted to wind him down, and he lured him into that. He lured him into that shot. He didn't struggle. A struggle was like, cause I ain't see Rolly really like hurt Tank or no shit like that. So he let him feel confident enough to walk him down, and Lord, that's a part of IQ. He just smart. So a lot of people think, all right, Devin Haney way smarter than Tank. Shakur Stevenson way smarter. This man IQ just as high as those guys. He just got the combination with the power and everything and the speed too. So it's like he didn't want to catch a shot from this, on some stupid fighter type shit. He didn't want to just get punched by him and then get hurt. By this motherfucker who ain't even on his level. So he had to break him down. He had to carry him some rounds to when he knew he was gonna knock his ass out. That's a skill in itself to know to knock a motherfucker out at a certain point. Like he ain't swing for the fences. All right, get the swing and throwing combinations early in the fight. All right, because you feel like a motherfucker ain't on your level. That's how you get clipped. That's some dumb fighter shit. That's some Terence Crawford shit that he did versus Green Bean, and that's why he got his ass dropped. See, that's how you know Tank's smarter than motherfuckers.
Hey, I'm not saying that. I think Tank is smart. I think his IQ is good, but I think that's the reason why. Basically, to the point that you're making, Marlo, that the reason why I don't think the fight is going to be a blowout, like Jason said. I think he's smart enough to understand that the fighter in front of him is ranging and can throw and punch a little bit himself, and so Tank is going to wait for the time that's going to give him the appropriate opportunity to land that punch and get him up out of there. But I just don't see it being a blowout.
No, when I say a brutal knockout, I mean Tank's going to take his time. He's going to lure Garcia to sleep. Once Garcia gets comfortable, night.
Yeah. Man, what do you guys think about because we haven't talked about this. So Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. It seems like these are the fighters that could possibly fight over the next several months, some combination of the two. I'm on record as saying that I think Shakur is the best of all these guys. I don't necessarily know who's going to come out victorious. And you got a lot of guys in and around that weight. You can add T.O. to the mix as well. Who else is at that weight again? Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody, right? Camboso's, he's out. I already said Shakur and Devin. So I got Shakur, Devin, T.O., Tank, and Ryan Garcia. That's everybody in and around that weight class, right? So who do you think is going to come out? Yeah, I'm not including those other 140s, even though Ryan Garcia went up there. So out of those guys that will potentially fight over the next few years, who do you guys think will ultimately become or come out of that situation victorious?
I think Gervonta Davis come out on top as long as he stay focused and everything like that. But those definitely, tough fights. I think Tank might punch too hard for Shakur, even though Shakur's super duper smart. I don't think his last fight with who was that? Who was his last fight with that dude? Damn.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. When he lost the belt on due to weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. That showed me right there. You can touch Shakur Stevenson for sure, even though he chose to fight that type of fight to make it exciting for his hometown. But he can be touched. It ain't like, I think once Tank get especially since he coming up too, once Tank touch him, we don't even know what's gonna happen. Shit, and then we seen Devin Haney get hurt by
Linares.
So it's like shit. Tank could knock both of their ass out, even if they is outboxing them. Shit, if people think they the better boxers, shit, we don't know how they gonna take the power. Shit, cause neither one of them could take the type of motherfucker that'll take a punch from you just to hit your ass at the same time to knock you out. So neither one of them ain't really hitting like that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't punching like him. They really don't really have no knockout power at all, to be honest. So, but I think after two,
who got the better chance versus Tank, maybe Shakur, because I think Devin might be a little chinny. I mean, I'm suspicious right now, but I'm not really sure. But Devin Haney do got the range and everything, but a lot of times Devin Haney like to fight. He like to fight a fight. Him, that's one thing I grew respect for Devin because he really want to fight. He ain't really trying to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think Tank will knock him out though. As long as Tank stay focused, I think he a couple levels ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? I think shit, they brilliant boxers though for sure. Devin and Shakur. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't knock nobody whoever they pick. If they think Devin or Shakur can come out on top, I wouldn't knock nobody opinion on that type of situation. But I got Tank because of the power and he got just as much skill. I just think he just got a little more than both of them.
I
Yeah,
could see
I
that.
think. Yeah, I think. I think so. If you look at the comment section, you're seeing people all over the place, right? You're seeing people saying Shakur, you're seeing people saying Tank, you're seeing people saying. I haven't really seen anybody say Haney, but I think any one of these guys, and I forgot to mention Frank Martin, but man, you just never know, bruh. Like I could see Tank starching these dudes. I could also see Shakur outboxing these guys. I can also see Devin being too big and too skilled for both of these guys. So it's like I can see any combination of these guys winning. The one guy I can't really see winning is Ryan Garcia. I just can't see him winning.
Garcia
I
won't.
really don't. I don't see Ryan winning. And I know I said that I think he's going to be more of a problem than people think he will be for Tank. I just don't see him winning. And T.O.'s big and he got enough power, so he could possibly hurt any one of these fighters as well. But I mean, that's why these guys need to get in the ring and fight ASAP. Sorry, Jason, for cutting you off, man. What you about to say?
Ain't no thing. No, I think. I mean, I agree with Marlo as far as like Tank, because Tank has shown that he has better. A lot of his boxing IQ is a lot better over time. These last 2 or 3 fights, he's shown that. You know, I just think that his power is ultimate equal. He's like a Deontay Wilder at 135, 140, but with better IQ. You know, he's gonna punch through it. All it takes is him to hit you at one time. You know, I think he's fast enough and crafty enough to catch a Shakur or a Devin. Although I like Devin and Shakur because of the style, the way they box, but they just don't have enough. I think to keep Tank off of him like that. But I think Tank's going to end up getting in there and getting him up out of there. And I hate to see that happen.
What do you guys think about Keyshawn Davis? So Jay just mentioned him in the comment section. I think loudmouth Keyshawn will be a problem too. I haven't seen a whole lot of Keyshawn. I've seen a little bit of him. He does look solid. Jay, I know you probably seen more of him, and Marlon, you might have seen more of him than I've seen. I'm gonna start with you, Jay. What you think about Keyshawn Davis?
I mean, I give him credit for talking a lot of noise and everything. He only has 6 fights in, so I have to wait till he gets like in the round, like 10 fights under his belt at least to see how he develops, because he has some power, but he gets wild at times. And he get in there with a crafty fighter like Tank, he gonna go to sleep. He get in a crafty fighter like Devin Haney or Shakur, he gonna get his head boxed the hell off. So we'll see. For me, it's too early for me to gauge Keyshawn Davis to see where he goes. I want to see how he develops. Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
I can hear you now. I didn't hear you before.
All right. No, I said Keyshawn he only has 6 fights right now, so I gotta give him time to marinate to see how he matures off of experience. Because right now, he don't want to get in there with none of those three guys. They're too experienced for him because he's very vulnerable for
Jay,
certain
I
things.
can't hear you. Marlo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I hear him.
Maybe it's on my end. I think it's on my end.
Yeah.
I can hear you. I can hear you now, Jason. Now maybe I'm having some technical issues on my end.
Yes, it is. Ryan been dropped. Ryan got dropped by Luke Campbell.
Facts.
Yep.
Ryan got dropped by Luke Campbell. He get caught by a tank, he might not ever get up.
Facts. That's what's gonna happen. He gonna knock his fucking head off. That motherfucker gonna spin around in circles.
I like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Tank eventually catch him, man, and get him up out of there. I think that's what's going to ultimately happen. So Jay, you know, I felt like Ryan Garcia was going to get smoked by Tank. I think he'll eventually get stretched, but I don't think he's going to get smoked in the first few rounds as I did before.
I see Tank fighting Ryan like he fought Rolly. He's going to take his time, going to bait his ass in there. They're going to catch him because Ryan's going to get cocky. Going to try because Ryan's been talking so much shit for over a year and a half now. Yeah. You know, he talked all that shit when he was on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. All of a sudden, he said he's going to fight Pacquiao and he's going to fight this person and end up fighting mental health. You know, so I'm just tired of his bullshit. You know, and I just don't see Tank just not taking his ass out there because Tank's just tired of the bullshit from Ryan Garcia as well. You know, because he held up a back from Tank last year.
Yeah, Ryan already ducked his ass for so-called Manny Pacquiao. Then another time he did some bullshit because he was fighting mental depression, and now he think he want to fight. Now he gonna get his ass sent right back into the modeling agency where he belongs.
Someone said Luke is better than anyone on Tank's resume.
Here we go. There we go.
Not Luke Campbell, nah. Yeah, I see Tank getting his ass up out of there with a nasty knockout.
Yeah, I definitely do. I think this is gonna be another highlight reel.
Oh yeah.
Tank gonna go to another level. He really motherfuckers think he big now. After he knock out Ryan, shit.
He gonna be the face of boxing.
Facts. He might be the face of boxing after that, bro. And shit, if Bud come to the table, Earl knock his eye out, and then Tank knock Ryan, shit. Both of them, they gonna be neck to neck. Oh, that shit gonna be crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really do like Shakur and I like Devin, you know, but I wish they had more power. That's
the only thing. They might can get with Tank on the skills department, but it's like if he able just to just walk through your shit. It's like once he hits you, it's like shit. Your ass might not get back up. That shit might be over. Right then and there. No matter how good you is, it's like as long as he good enough to be. See, Wilder been in that motherfucker with plenty of motherfuckers who is better than him. But the thing is, with Tank, he ain't just got the power. He got the skill to land the power. So it's like he hits you is a wrap.
Big facts. That's the thing. It's like he's not a one-trick pony like Wilder is.
Facts. He set Rolly up. He set Leo Santa Cruz up. He set him up. He setting these guys. He not just swinging for the fences and getting a knockout. He setting these dudes up. He set him up. He let him land 2 right hands. He paused the second one. Then threw the third one in a row. It was night.
And that's the thing. They fucked around and let Tank get more and more experience and a better IQ over time.
Right.
Tank absolutely has gotten better. That's one of the things that I noticed about him, man. He got sharper over the years, and people can say he hasn't fought the level of competition that some of these other guys have fought, and I actually agree with that. But I've seen the progression in Tank's ability over the last few years. One thing, man, that we thought about talking about last week, and I want to just touch on this topic real quick. Paulie Malignaggi. I used to enjoy Paulie Malignaggi as a boxing analyst, But he's gotten to a point now, man, where Paulie's just become obnoxious. And I think, man, he still feels like he's actually in the sport as a fighter. And some of the stuff that he said about Devin Haney has just been factually wrong. Like, number one, saying that Kambosos was the undisputed lightweight champion. That was wrong. That's the reason why whoever won that fight would have actually become the undisputed lightweight champion. And then he's making comments about some of the people that Devin Haney has fought in the past, so forth and so on, and people collecting what he called bubblegum championships. Paulie held a couple of titles, both of which I would consider bubblegum championships based off of what he said or his description he gave. He wasn't the best fighter in his class or in that weight division, and he won it from a fighter that wasn't considered a linear champion. So based off of his criteria, he's never been a fucking champion either, as he was speaking about Devin Haney. So what do you guys think about the comments of just Paulie, man? I mean, is he a fucking hater or what?
He's a hater on Devin Haney, man. He's never given Devin his just due. You know, I don't understand the hate he has for Devin. Maybe it's because Devin is everything that he wanted to be and he couldn't be. You know, right. It's just ridiculous the hate that he gives on Devin, because Devin's not the type of fighter who's going out there just talk shit or been out there just willy-nilly where you should want to hate him. You know, he chose to pick on Devin for whatever reason. Devin was been trying to get the best fight since day one, since he was what, 20?
The white boy coming. He hate that shit.
Yeah, he's been calling out Loma for the longest, man. But he's a Loma nut hugger right now. Paulie is, so it's just like he's trying to go for anyone. He would have been thrilled if Kambosos had beaten Devin, but everyone knew it. Everyone knew Kambosos didn't have a chance in hell to beat Devin, especially after that first fight when Devin just jabbed the shit out of him with such ease,
which we also predicted was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew he was going to box his head off like that. So yeah, Paulie's a hater on that. Paulie does in other fights. He's actually been a very good analyst. Well, for some reason, when it's Devin or about race, Paulie just goes off the rails with that shit. So fuck Paulie on that shit there.
Yeah, Paulie won championships at looks like, so he won that 140 pounds. He won the IBF lightweight title. He won it from look like Love More Than Ado. I think I remember that fight.
Yeah.
He got his ass whooped by Ricky Hatton. I think he won one other title.
Got his ass beat by Sean Porter.
Yeah, but
Sean Porter put his own entire man, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. Love More Than Ado was not the best fighter at the weight when he won the title. So technically, when he's talking about all these other fighters and talking about they got popcorn championships and all that shit, he basically saying the same thing about himself. He got a fucking popcorn championship as well.
And got his girl taken by AB.
Man, you tripping. Man, Paulie didn't even want her, man. Paulie didn't even want her.
That shit was classic AB. That shit was funny.
Yeah, that definitely was classic fucking AB. Bullshit ass AB. So let's see what else we got in the comments section, man. If not, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the night. Let me see. Do we have any questions?
Looks like they're saying.
Don't see anything. Yeah, Devin Trotty. That white boy comment really hurt him, man. He fucked up about that.
Yeah. Funny thing about Paulie's what? AB's biggest win?
No, I think when he beat the kid at 135 pounds was his biggest win. I can't remember his name right now. Hold on. Let me look up his name. That was definitely his biggest win.
You talking about DeMarco?
Yeah, DeMarco. DeMarco was his biggest win. Not Paulie. Paulie's trash.
But Paulie had a belt when they fought, though.
Did he?
Let me stop. I thought they fought I thought Paulie had just gotten that little bubblegum belt from somebody, and AB took his shit from him and his girl. I think the AB said he took his girl and his belt the same day at the post fight or some shit.
Maybe. But all right,
yeah,
guys. Man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I want to say thank you to Marlo from the Real Marlo TV for joining the podcast today or the live stream today.
Y'all go subscribe over there.
Go subscribe. We will continue to support your channel. I know you will continue to support ours. I saw a lot of people in the comment section who are subscribed to both channels saying that they are so glad that we linked up. This shows that, you know, YouTubers, we're not in it to necessarily compete with each other. We see, excuse me, my throat, boxing as a community. And we want us to all come together, man, and have a good time. So, Jason, I'm going to let you wrap it up because I'm about to choke over here.
You know how.
God, dog.
Good,
Lord. I need some water. Sorry about that, guys. I think this is.
Hey,
I've been drinking too much of that Johnny Walker.
Yak. That yak got you. But as y'all know, subscribe, subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast. Also, the Real Marlo TV, and we out.
We are out. Good night, LT. Good night, everybody. See you guys later.